Guys, how would you classify Nope? Would you classify it as a comedy, as a horror, as a comedy horror, comedy sci-fi, sci-fi comedy, drama, romance novel,
Bestial rom-com?
a last-ditch attempt to make fries relevant again? How would you classify it? Junior, you start.
Yeah, bestial rom-com. It's clearly, spoiler alert for the movie. It's a love between, animals and humankind.
Interesting. That's
Monkeys, aliens,
wait, did you say a
horses.
beast comedy?
Bestial rom-com?
So I thought you said bistro.
Yeah, bistro rom-com.
Oh my god.
Like a restaurant, like a bistro.
No, I think that it's more like, I guess it depends on your definition of horror, right? I think a lot of horror enthusiasts wouldn't necessarily call these traditional horror movies because they don't have a lot of those horror elements. Like, these are maybe more thrillers than like true horrors. I mean, I'm horrified, as you guys know. I don't like anything that jumps out at me at all. And I texted Ravi after the movie because Christian didn't see it till Friday, but there's like a part 40 minutes into the movie, I start cupping my ears, and I really didn't stop until the end of the movie.
When you do this in a public setting like a movie theater, do people look at you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Okay.
Oh man. But it's on a screen. It can't actually hurt you.
It can hurt my heart though.
That's
Do you
true.
remember-
It can cause problems. Arjuna has proven to us that movies in a theater
maybe can
cause
kill you?
like damage.
Emotional, damn it!
Yeah, I would go. I think just jumping off what Juna said, I would go straight up thriller.
It's like a thriller.
Yeah, you got to thriller. I don't know if you can classify it as like sci-fi necessarily, because to be honest, we never really delve into that part of it, right? Like, obviously, we think
Right,
for
that's not
about
important.
half the movie. Yeah, we think for about half the movie it's a flying saucer and aliens and a spaceship. And I thought it was a really good twist when we find out it's actually a predator. It's an animal. We think it might be extraterrestrial. I think our characters think it's extraterrestrial because nothing on Earth has ever been seen like it. It can do things that things on Earth can't do. But you can't really go the sci-fi route, really. Horror, yeah, there are the kind of the scary stuff, but even so, I don't think the point of the movie necessarily is to scare you. And I think this is the strength of Jordan Peele's movies, is that a few years ago when Get Out came out, and it was in the running for best comedy, and people were like, really? So we might just have to start creating a new genre and call it the Peele genre.
I think the
Because,
best
his
movies are
don't
Peeleverse.
fit.
But I think the best
yeah.
movies are genre-less, right? We talk about genres a lot, and I think when a movie is like easily fits a bucket where it's like, this is X, most of the time, I don't think that makes a good movie. I think a good movie blurs lines and has a lot of different elements within it.
I would agree with that to an extent. That being said, I think some of the best movies in movie history do fit very nicely into a bucket. The most recent example I can think of is Top Gun. That's just straight up action, and
Christian, that's a rom-com.
It does it really.
That's a
it does
comedy.
it really well, right?
I
think it's at this point it's like positionless basketball. There is no position. You've got LeBron James who can play 1 through 5. That's Jordan Peele is the LeBron
And
James
he
of
coaches.
movie making.
And
His
he's the
movies, exactly. His movies is positionless. It can fit into any genre.
I bring up rom-com for like Top Gun, and I also jokingly classify parts of this movie as a rom-com because I'm starting to believe, and maybe I'm insane for saying this, but a rom-com can be the love between, a character and an inanimate object, such as a fighter jet. And I look at like the Top Gun movies as, characters that are in love with their fighter jets. And in this movie, we have the DP, the cinematographer, who is in love with the idea of getting his shot. And it's this fun back and forth that eventually gets him killed.
Ravi, I have a
Rom-com.
question. Ravi, I have a
Sure.
question. As someone who seeks out, time lapses, drone shots,
The perfect shot, yeah.
the perfect shot. Are you? Is this cinematographer character? Is this the most seen you've ever felt in a movie?
100%.
Is this
good.
you?
That
He
character
is-
is so good.
He is completely like, obviously he's definitely a little batshit insane, and his ego doesn't help. Especially that line towards the end where like, you're not ready for the perfect shot. And, like, because like you have to get, but it makes sense because like in order to get that shot, he's willing to like give up his life, which obviously he does.
Spoilers.
Knowing that the creature was gonna like spit out the canisters as well, right? Even though he wasn't gonna see the final shot, us or the audience, whoever would be able to eventually see that shot. So yeah, I definitely felt like I get that. You do really stupid things sometimes to like get that shot. I think the stupidest thing I've ever done was lean out of a moving car with an old 60 millimeter film camera. For the Corpse Grinding Man music video that we did. That was probably the dumbest thing because you have this weighted thing. I'm not strapped in properly. It's a moving vehicle.
It's not even your camera, right?
It's not even my camera. So like you can damage, physical property. You can damage yourself. You can injure others. Like, yeah, that was pretty stupid.
I was the driver.
So I would classify Nope as thriller comedy. And the reason I throw the comedy in is because it's something I know. So I went Thursday night, so opening night, to like a primetime show. And the theater was decently packed. And what was interesting is we had like a group of people behind us that weren't fully aware of what the movie was, who the director was, or what they were getting in
It's weird for a Thursday night.
They were, yes, this is a Thursday night film. Like they were
Oh
just like,
my
hey, it's
God.
Thursday night, let's go to the movies. I saw this cool thing. So marketing and the mystery, if you will, behind the film is kind of what put them in those seats. But what I noticed throughout the entire film, and I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing, during certain parts, they would just start giggling and laughing. Not necessarily because they were trying to be, assholes or whatever and like ruin the movie experience, but because they were uncomfortable. And they were using laughter and comedy and that lightheartedness to make themselves less comfortable, right? Even though there were definitely certain things that weren't funny. Like, they were the only ones laughing, but it was like that nervous laugh. And I think...
I mean, I did that during this movie. I was like there's some parts that are just so ridiculous and it's quiet and you know what's coming, and so you laugh because you're like,
Right.
fucking Jordan Peele is about to
scare me.
He's about to terrify the shit out of me right now. Yeah.
I will say there were.
At the same time, though, I think what's interesting with that is when you go back and you remember the movie and you're laughing at certain parts, you're forever, to a degree, I think, going to think of that part, oh, yeah, it was funny or whatever, because you were uncomfortable, even though maybe necessarily wasn't meant to be a funny thing. Therefore, it creates the idea that the movie is also a comedy.
I will say there are a lot of funny moments in the film. Keke Palmer's like almost everything she said was like ridiculously hilarious, and so there's a lot of laughter in my showing, my superior showing to Ravi's. But I will say though, yeah, I would say there's a lot of comedy with the M character, and then a lot of comedy with the fries guy.
Oh yeah,
especially like his first scene where he's just oversharing about his girlfriend leaving him and how he's having a tough day and just trying to like interject himself into their lives when they clearly don't want it. It's pretty funny.
Also, I love that part of the end where he's explaining to them like, oh, pointing in the sky and talking about UPAs being the new term for UFOs.
Yeah.
UAPs. And then he calls them fucking assholes as he's walking away. And then in the same breath, oh, by the way, my supervisor will be calling. 5 stars, Angel. 5 stars. It was great. That whole interaction was great.
So good.
And it
so
made
good.
me really miss Fry's electronics.